The sun had barely risen over the quiet mountain town when a roar shook the stillness. A group of Hell's Angels riders had pulled over at the edge of an old gas station, every engine rumbling except one. The biggest, loudest, and most respected rider in the crew, Hawk, stood beside his motorcycle, kicking the dirt in frustration. His bike, his pride, his identity had died without warning. The other bikers tried everything they knew. Tools clattered, tempers flared, sweat dripped. But no matter what they did, the engine wouldn't even cough. And that's when the real frustration hit. These were men who had crossed deserts, survived storms, and fixed bikes on the side of dangerous highways, but today they were helpless. Before we continue this powerful story, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to Kindness Book Stories, where every story reminds us that kindness still matters. As the bikers argued and tried to diagnose the problem, a slow tapping sound approached from behind the station. Tap, drag, tap, drag. An old man emerged, thin, gray-haired, walking with a metal cane that shook with every step. His clothes were worn, and his left leg didn't seem to work quite right. Most people in town knew him as Mr. Lawson, the disabled old mechanic who had retired years ago. "Morning," he said quietly, eyes warm but tired. "You fellas look like you could use a hand." Some of the riders exchanged glances, half amused, half doubtful. What could a man who could barely walk possibly do that 10 bikers couldn't? Hawk shrugged politely. "Appreciate it, old-timer, but this problem's bigger than it looks." But the old man didn't back down. "Mind if I take a look anyway?" Sometimes these machines speak if you know how to listen. There was something in his tone, gentle, steady, almost fatherly. Against their better judgment, the bikers stepped aside. Mr. Lawson placed his trembling hand on the engine, closed his eyes, and inhaled. For a long moment, no one spoke. He listened not with tools, but with memory, with experience, with love. Then he opened his eyes. "You're not dealing with a broken engine," he murmured. "You're dealing with a broken heart." The bikers blinked. "What?" Mr. Lawson pointed to a small, nearly invisible fracture near the ignition coil, something so tiny it looked like a hairline scratch. "Heat expands it. Cold contracts it. Your spark is dying before it's born." Nobody, not even Hawk, who had rebuilt dozens of engines, had seen it. With shaky fingers, the old man tightened a small bolt, adjusted a wire the bikers had overlooked, and tapped the metal twice with the end of his cane. "Try her now," he said with a soft smile. Hawk turned the key. Vroom! The motorcycle exploded to life, louder, stronger, and cleaner than it had sounded in years. The entire crew froze. The old man straightened up as much as he could, though his back remained curved with age and pain. "Sometimes strength isn't about muscle," he said quietly. "It's about patience and listening." Then something unexpected happened. Hawk, towering, tattooed, feared by many, took off his helmet and walked toward Mr. Lawson. "Sir," he said, voice thick with emotion, "how did you learn all that?" The old man gazed at the mountains. "I spent 40 years fixing motorcycles, and 20 more trying to fix myself after the accident that took my leg. Machines were easier. They complain less." The bikers looked at each other with a mix of respect and shame. They'd been judging him by his limp, unaware of the lifetime of brilliance he carried. Hawk reached into his jacket and handed the old man something, a leather patch carrying the Hells Angels crest. "We don't give these out," Hawk said, "but today you earned it." The old man's eyes filled with tears he tried to hide. His hands shook not from weakness, but from overwhelming pride. "Thank you," he whispered. The riders didn't roar out of the town that day. They rolled out slowly, respectfully, as if escorting a king. And the old man watched them leave, standing taller than he had in years, not because his back had healed, but because his spirit had. Sometimes the greatest strength shows up in the quietest footsteps, and sometimes the people the world overlooks are the ones carrying the wisdom we need most. Kindness, patience, and listening, these are the tools that fix more than machines. They fix people, they fix hearts, they fix entire worlds.